Hello everybody, it's a busy month for football, but these videos will not stop. This is the player podium and these are the rules. Up to 3 players per team are awarded points based on individual performance, with the best player receiving 3 points, second best receiving 2 points and third best receiving 1 point. If a team has less than 3 outstanding players, their best performing player may receive less than 1 point, with players accumulating these points each week and are placed onto a leaderboard, and every week one player is awarded player of the week. This is the leaderboard for those of you who have forgotten, is your point scorers from last week, and I made a slight adjustment to the leaderboard. So as you can see at the bottom here, I put Eze, who scored 1 point for Crystal Palace before his departure to Arsenal. Given the fact that it's January and people are starting to sign players, I'm going to be marking these signings and with a little Jan next to them, or if a player moves from one Premier League team to another, they will have the abbreviation of the team that they started at. And then if I slide across here, you'll find Eze with the Arsenal as well, so it's just to know who they actually scored points for. And with one of the most recent signings, Brennan Johnson, I have put that there for him. And obviously last player of the week was Joe Garner. Villa back to winning ways against Forest. This was very, very needed because we could have had any kind of reaction after that Arsenal defeat. And for us to play really well in the game, we were all over in first half. Obviously, expect that. Forest do like to invite the pressure, but it is good to see. It's good to see. But we did try and walk the ball into goal for quite a lot of the first half, which is pretty contradictory to how we usually play, which against a team like Forest is quite surprising because you would have thought we'd have carried on with the long shots, carried on trying to pick them from outside of the box, which he eventually did with Watkins' first goal, which was a lovely little strike past the keeper. But yeah, I was kind of annoyed with how we dealt with Forest in the first half because we had a plenty of the ball in progressive positions, but we thought we were prime Barcelona for whatever reason, and Watkins was afraid to shoot. Rodgers was laying it off left, right, and centre instead of turning, having a pop. Tielemans, Kamara, a few of those didn't have the shot from the edge of the box when they had the space to. But, you know, in the end, we got the job done. We turned it on, and our midfield was just fantastic in that game. Honestly, we were so good in that performance, and you're seeing who rewarded points to, but it's completely deserved. Forest, they played all right. They dealt with the pressure fairly well for a while, but then 2 goals either side of half time, we just unpicked them really nicely. Found the space for McGinn for the second, and could not tell you what John Victor's doing for that third goal. He subbed himself off out of embarrassment. But yeah, it's a good result for us. Forest, I think Dyche said something like they've got the similar amount of points to Sunderland in the recent run, which when you look at it that way is like you're not too worried. But then at the same time, when you look at the position in the league, you'd want Dyche to be picking up more points to try and claw yourself for certain away from that relegation scrap, which is something Forest haven't done yet. But yeah, I mean, I don't think they expected to come to Villa Park and get a result, but yeah, it's a good win for Villa nonetheless. It's really unfortunate that I have to reward one of the midfielders less points than the other, but Yuri Tielemans was just super, and that pass from again for that assist, bloody hell, that was just ridiculous. That was genuinely one of the most nicest passes I've seen this season. It was just lovely, and his overall midfield play just is always amazing. Doesn't get enough points in this system, honestly. But yeah, fantastic showing from Yuri. That he's been playing really well the last few games, and I'm happy that I'm able to give him that bit of recognition now and actually give him some points for once. That double act of Kamara and Tielemans was just working like it was firing on all cylinders in that game. Kamara was fantastic off the ball, brilliant on the ball, and his link-up play is just something. It's just sublime. The fact that we paid actual zero Great British pounds for either of those footballers is pretty remarkable, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's genuinely like those two are just amazing. And since even though Tielemans started slowly at Villa, since both of those two have been playing together, we've gone up another level. They're so like critical to the way that we play, and yeah, very good performance. 2 points from Yuri Tielemans. He was going to be player of the week, and then he wasn't because of stuff that happened elsewhere. But John McGinn, overall, brilliant game. I saw someone at half time. I saw they said John McGinn's been awful in each boxes. We should take him off right away, which is very stupid given what he went on to do. Went on to score 2 goals. But even outside of that, I disagreed with their opinion. I think his overall performance was great. His off the ball is just as determined and rugged as John McGinn tends to be, and on the ball, him on the turn is just brilliant, and he showed all those qualities in that game. So for me, a very deserved 3 points. Even though they didn't win the game. They didn't keep a clean sheet. They conceded 3 goals. I thought Murillo in the base of defence was actually very good at times for Forest. I didn't want to give Gibbs White a point because I don't think he did anything outside of his goal. Even though he got assist, I thought Back was actually quite poor. I liked his cameo the last game that Forest played. I can't remember who it was against off the top of my head. Everton, I think. But I didn't like. I didn't think Back was very good in that game, which is surprising, But yeah, Murillo I thought was pretty good. He was aerially solid for a shorter kind of guy with a stockier build. It's quite surprising. He's very strong. The way that he plays the ball is really like mesmerising. Like the way that he touches and hits the ball, like he's hitting random passes out to his right back from like 40 yards away, and just like there's no need for that, but that was lovely. Like, I really like that. And he touches. He has the flair of a player who doesn't play at centre back. He's a pretty good footballer. And you know what? I would like if Torres left Villa, I would happily have him at Villa. So yeah, good player Murillo, but not team let him down. I've been saying that Burnley have been playing better than the points that they've got, but this was a very poor performance from Burnley. I did not like Burnley at all in this game. They were very slow. That it didn't make sense to me that Marcus Edwards didn't start the game based on his performance in the previous game against Newcastle. I thought he was their best player, and it's confusing as to why he doesn't start games when Burnley have performances like this where they look so devoid of any attacking spark. They had one chance, I think, in the first half with Pires down the left, and that was it. Brighton, this was on their perspective, this was just a walk in the park pretty much. They didn't really have to get out of second gear. I'm actually surprised Ayari scored because I think in front of goal his composure sometimes leaves a lot to be desired, but it's positive on his end that he's got a goal. He's been playing very well and his performances warrant a goal. Ruta scored as well. I don't think he scored too much this season, but his overall play was great. And yeah, it really was just a routine, comfortable win for Brighton. Giving Costulas 1 point. Obviously, he got an assist, which was a bit inconspicuous. He didn't really know what was going on, so I'm not putting him there just for that. I think his attacking movement was really good in that game. He hasn't started before this game. He hasn't been given too much game time outside of this game, but I thought he looked quite promising. Again, his movement was great. He got into some good spaces. He just lacked that little bit of clinicality, which I think is a young lad who hasn't played a lot of minutes, so I think that will just come with time. But yeah, I think there's a little spark there. Another one of these Brighton signings out of nowhere. Mentioned him a second ago, but Ayari with another goal. Well, I say another goal with a goal. I spoke about him compared to Diego Gomez when I was looking at Brighton versus Arsenal, because I thought that Diego Gomez and Ayari worked really well because Ayari could do all of the gritty work, and then Diego Gomez was pretty good in the box, but this kind of shook me up a little bit. It was a really, really nice strike, which is surprising because I've seen Ayari hit them into Rose head a couple of times, but he's a really decent little player. He has deserved a goal from the performances he's got, and yeah, I think he's very deserving of 2 points for me. Mid-recording, I forgot I hadn't changed my camera, which doesn't help, obviously, if you can't see who I'm speaking about, which isn't important in this circumstance, but was for Murillo. Oops, sorry about that. But yeah, we got Ruta on 3 points. His work for the goal was fantastic. He took it around a few players, and then when he got into the position, he got the strike off, and it was a really nice finish. Makes up for his own goal the other week against Arsenal. And yeah, haven't really seen a lot of him this season. The goal scoring has been very split across the Brighton side, but I think there's going to be competition in that forwards type position because Welbeck's obviously He's been good. He has scored a few goals, but there's never a solid starting 11, solid rigid starting 11 with Brighton. Like with Palace, you know who they're going to play for a week. With Brighton, you don't. So Rutter's game time is here and there. But this is a positive sign for the kid, I think. Back-to-back 0 points scored, and Jesus Christ, West Ham were dog in that game. They were absolutely shit. Wolves were really good. I mean, Rob Edwards has done a good job at Wolves so far. Their performances are a lot less flat and a lot less dire, so to speak. They've definitely been doing better than the points they've scored. And this is the first kind of like sign of, okay, Rob Edwards is starting to click here now a little bit. They looked really exciting on the attack. They looked they did look clinical as well. They didn't miss that many chances that they had. West Ham were just poor. I'd expect a new no team to be so much better in defence than West Ham actually are, but they're just not. They offer really nothing in defence, and then they rely on Bowen going forward. And if Bowen can't score a goal, then Paqueta infrequently scores. Somerville hasn't scored a goal all year. Wilson doesn't play enough, which is weird. I don't know why he's not starting games. And Fernandez can't do it all from midfield, so they're destined to go down for me. Castellanos and Pablo, I think they've signed from GW20, aren't going to be, in my opinion, what keeps them up. They splashed 40 million on two players that I think are going to stay there for 6 months and then leave when they go down. I'm just disappointed in West Ham, and you know what? It's what they deserve, really, because they haven't improved the squad anywhere near enough in summer. They said they were going to sit on their money, and look at where it's got them. And finally, Bone's going to up and leave, hopefully, when they go down. That's enough shitting on West Ham. Hugo Bueno from left back was really solid. Has been injured, I think, for quite a lot of this season, but he's come into that game and he really made an impact. I think he got an assist. And overall, they didn't have a lot going forward, so his defensive work was obviously fine because he had nothing to do. But yeah, really decent performance. I haven't seen a lot, I don't think, this season from Wolves, but there's a decent little player there in Hugo Bueno. I think last season he was decent as well. I think Wolves fans said he was all right, but yeah, solid performance. 1 point. Hwang Yi-chan with a rare goal and got an assist as well in that game. Did a lot for Wolves in terms of GA. Penalty was calmly dispatched, no problems there. Straight down the middle, sent Ariana the wrong way. Good job. But I think he was getting into decent spots. Outside of the goal and assist, obviously, I don't think there was too much else that he did. He was getting into good positions, but a lot of the play was coming through in Barney, who I'm going to speak about in a second. But yeah, with what he could do, I think Hwang did a solid job. And already, I think, has he scored more than Strand Larsen this season? Which, if he has, is embarrassing for Strand Larsen, because Hwang hasn't been in form for a while now. But yeah, I mean, I do wonder if it's too little too late for Wolves. I think it is, but I guess time will tell. Whatever happens to Wolves at the end of the season, I don't think Mane is going to be there. He is a pretty exciting player. I mean, he ran the show against West Ham. Not lovely little turns. His finish was great. First goal, I think, in his professional career, and yet he's making Wolves tick over at the moment. I don't think he'll be there next season. I think he'll very quickly be snapped up by someone bigger. I don't want to see him go to one of the big clubs straight away. I mean, I'd love to see him just take that one step up. Like if you went to someone like Bournemouth and Semenyo goes, or I don't know, someone like Palace maybe, Fulham, a club that's not fighting for relegation but isn't always knocking on the door for Europe. Somewhere in that kind of area, or maybe even to like Brighton, somewhere like that. But yeah, I think there's a future for this kid, and definitely deserving of 3 points, man of the match in that game. Bournemouth made it a little bit nervy for Arsenal at the end of that, and probably should have had one more chance if the referee didn't blow his whistle. Could not tell you why he did that, but in the end, good result for Arsenal. Bournemouth are in really poor form, and they're only 8 points off the relegation, which is getting a little bit touch and go. They're not going to go down. They've got way too good of a squad to go down. But you know, when you're 20 game weeks in and you're only 8 points ahead of relegation for a team with the stability of Bournemouth in the Premier League and a team with the squad that Bournemouth have, that's worrying times. It's worrying times. Arsenal, they're just plugging away, carrying on. A rare mistake from Gabriel, which he made up for in the end, which he tends to do, which is, fair enough. If you're going to make a mistake and then score a goal to atone for it, crack on, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, overall, it was just a good Arsenal performance. Like, they had a few chances. I think Bournemouth did have a few chances where they should have scored. They weren't clinical enough in that game. But even if they would have scored, I fully would have believed in Arsenal to come back and get the 3 points anyway. That was just kind of game, and Rice was pulling all the strings as he does. So yeah, I mean, I do really wonder why the ref blew that whistle, because for me, I referee Sunday League, and nothing in that situation would feasibly tempt me to blowing that whistle in the slightest. Like, if it's I know it's going back out from where it came from, but first of all, it came off an Arsenal head, and second of all, Semenyo was right there. It's mind blowing to me. I don't understand that in the slightest. Lewis Hill was actually decent going forward from centre back, and not at fault for any of the goals. I thought he had a pretty good performance. Not a player that I really rate that highly. I think he's come in and looked very average at times, but this was a decent performance from the guy, so I've given him 1 point for it. And Krupi Jr. with a really nice little finish from the edge of the box to make it 3-2, put the pressure on Arsenal a little bit. Yeah, this guy's a talent. This guy's a talent. He's shown he can score all really kinds of goals. He can do them out of the box. He can do the fancy stuff, and he can just put it away from 10 yards out, which is exactly what you want in a striker. He is fairly electric, he's fairly quick, he's a problem, it's a problem for Premier League defences, and I mean, again, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a move fairly soon. Odegaard was creatively good again in that game for Arsenal, as he tends to be. He's come back in and he's kind of upped his game, and now that he's got Eze there for competition, he's kind of put his foot down and said, look, I'm the captain, this is my team, I need to be in the team a lot more, and he's getting the assists, he's getting the contributions to prove that. Another assist in that game for Rice, a really nice little pass to him. Yeah, just a very good Odegaard performance and 1 point given. Madueke was making it all happen in that first half for Arsenal. He was really dangerous off that right hand side. He had one chance where he danced through a good 4 players and hit it over the bar. That's like so Madueke. It's not even like funny, but he was doing that a lot. He was getting at that left back. He was causing Triffitt problems. And for the first goal, his work was fantastic. Just to get in and put it in that danger zone, that little corridor of uncertainty. And it took them a few attempts, but they got the goal off it in the end. And yeah, it was a really this is what I'm saying. This is the kind of exactly what Madueke would do for Arsenal. Is what I said at the start of the season. This is exactly what he'll offer, and it worked in the situation. And then Arteta brought him off at the right time as well. Brought Saka on, who made a great contribution off the bench as well. So that decision to start Madueke was just great, and both players on that right side proved why it was a good idea. But no surprises, player of the match in that game, and 3 points given to Declan Rice again. He's so consistent, he's so brilliant, and he scored two really nice little finishes to make it 3-1 in the end. He won them the points basically, because if those two goals don't go in, then you're looking at Krupi goal that Bournemouth then steal something in the game from. So yeah, really important contribution in the game from Rice, and he gets 3 points, very much deservedly so. Right, we're moving on to Sunday's games now. Leeds 1, United 1. United looked pretty flat until they brought Xerxes on, which I was quite surprised about. I don't think it was too bad of a performance, it just was not clinical enough. Sesko put in an absolute clown show. I don't know what he was doing in that game, but he was poor. He was really, really poor. Just not good enough at all. His awareness was poor. When he was finishing was shocking, and yeah, very, very disappointing stuff from Banyaman Sheshko. But Leeds is a good point. When you go up ahead, you'd want to keep the lead. Like at Ellen Road, I would have backed them to keep the lead and keep it intact, but they didn't, which was kind of surprising in a sense, because United are notoriously not that good. They don't really have that. In recent seasons, that fight a lot of the time. This is a team of big names and big egos. So when they go behind, a lot of the time you expect them to roll over. But yeah, they got back in it. They got a point, and it turned out to be Amarim's last point, because he came out and got a bit pissy and got sacked, which was surprising. I thought they were going to stick with him, because they stuck with him through the horrendous form, stuck with him through 17th place, and now they're kind of sacking him, and it's January. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know why they've done it now. I thought they would have waited till at least the end of the season, but which I think is what they're doing. I think they're holding out to the end of the season for a permanent manager. So probably getting like Ollie or someone like that. So they're bringing that Ragnick type player, manager, who will be there for a little bit and just tide them over. Yeah, such a strange football club, man. Stack was great in that game though. He was creating loads. He put in a really nice pass into Aronson. I don't know if it was for the goal or not, but it's a really lovely ball that he played. No, it weren't for the goal. He just put in a really nice pass, I remember that distinctly, and also his general attacking play was just great, as it tends to be. He's a really good player. He's putting in really good performances for Leeds, and this one was one that was worthy of a point. Goal scorer Aronson on the sheet. It's not the most likely of scorers, not at all. But he is putting a few good performances now this season. He was good against Villa. I didn't give him points for that. He's good in the last game, which I did give him points for, against Liverpool. And he was good at this one. He scored the goal, which made it 1-0. Would have been the winning goal, but it wasn't the winning goal. So he did what he could though, so he gets 2 points. And Pascal Struijk gets the 3. Got the really nice assist through to Aronson, and Leeds were overall good defensively. They kind of kept United at bay a lot. Whenever United had the ball, they didn't really look threatening. That was largely like down to Leeds being solid in defence, as well as it was United being slow in attack. So I think Struijk was the highlight of that, so he gets 3 points. Another solid performance from Heaven. He's just putting in these really good shifts. Like, he's been a really smart buy. I don't think they paid that much for him at all, and he's just slotted into the first team when he's been called upon, and he's done really well. I wonder why Obi Martin wasn't given the same grace from United. I think he should have been, obviously when they had a full team, he wouldn't get that much time, but he should have been coming off the bench at least. But now that Heaven's there, I think maybe that might wake them up to that fact. But yeah, good performance again from Heaven. Nothing could do about the goal, weren't on him. So yeah, 1 point for him. Actually surprised with how much life Xerxes breathed into United when he came off the bench. He like they looked very flat without him, and then he came on and he was like immediately involved and making stuff happen. Like, don't know if he's just putting himself in the shop window or something, but it's a few good performances now that have just come out of nowhere, kind of, for the lad. Yeah, definitely deserving points. I don't know why he didn't start in that game, because they went so defensive and it just didn't work. They had so many negative players on the pitch, and you think, what? Why is Xerxes sat there? He's the only like non-youth player that actually plays that was on the bench. And when he came on, he did well as he did. You do wonder why he didn't start the game. Ultimately, they're giving Cunha the 3 points. When Xerxes was on the pitch, he was the only real breath of life in that United team. And yeah, it was just a poor day for United, I think. But he was kind of the highlight for them. It wasn't even his best performance. It was just that United were flat, and he was just that level above the rest of the team. Wow, what a game this was! I would caught this in bits at work. And the late winner from Gakpo, which we thought was a win, he takes his shirt off and he now looks like a tit. He's been to the Richarlison scoreless celebrations. And that strike at the end, I'm going to speak about in a little bit. But Fulham had a few opportunities, Liverpool did not look certain in the slightest. I don't know why Frimpong didn't start. He's been good and he looked decent when he came on again. Even if you're starting him as a winger, like, you might as well. There's a lot of noise going on. I don't know what happened there. But anyway, Chiesa as well. Allergic to bringing him on before the 80th minute. Like, you're bringing him on with, 10 minutes left and expect him to change the whole game for you. It's poor game management, though. He brought off Gakpo, brought on Gomez, which is fine. But when you do that, you leave the player that would have been Marking Reed free, which is not what you want, because obviously you twatted it top ends. If you bring off that forward player, that's fine, but they're going to lump it down the pitch and probably get something. So from the throw-in, you're leaving people exposed. And if you expect them to go for long throw and just leave players free to take the ball, why are they not going to take it short? I think that was poor from Liverpool perspective. But this is a good point from Fulham. I think they would have been disappointed if they lost the game in the fashion that they did. But if before the game, if you said, "Oh, do you want the point against Liverpool?" I think they'd very much take that, and they're continuing in some really, really good form at the moment. Jimenez is in there for his involvement in the goal. Really nice little flick, and overall was getting about, putting himself about up front. He's been playing really well of recent. Scored a few good goals, a few important goals as well. And yeah, I think he definitely deserved 1 point. If you told me before the season that Harrison Reed would be on the same amount of points as Mo Salah, I would be like, "What are you on about?" But wow. What a goal that was. That was so nice. It kind of was on him, the Liverpool goal, in the sense that he played them on side and then just about missed the tap. But either way, it could have just trickled into his own net. if he hit it. So yeah, I mean it's slightly harsh, but he didn't do very well in that sense for the goal. But mate, what a strike! What a strike! The bollocks to come off the bench for a rare appearance and just absolutely swaz it into the top corner from 20 yards out in the 97th minute. Like, that takes some serious bollocks. And if Fulham fans are not going to forget that one for a while now. And against his old team, it was just another very good Harry Wilson performance. I don't know what he's been smoking recently. I don't know what he's put in his cornflakes, but he is on fire. A really nice finish, just about onside. Yeah, good performance from Wilson against his old team as well. I do always forget that he started at Liverpool. I did a career path challenge the other day, like a trivia thing, and it took me a while to get him because I forgot he just started at Liverpool. So yeah, that's a bit of fun fact for you. But yeah, good performance, 3 points from Wilson. Connor Bradley from right back was good. I said I'd start Frimpong. I would start him on the wing because someone defensively solid like Bradley there to cover him defensively. I think that would have worked. His assist was nice, and his overall play was just good. I think it was a good performance from the lad, so he got 1 point. Whether he was offside or onside, I don't really know. I don't really care because Vert's put in a good performance nonetheless. His goal was nice. It was a good finish, and if he keeps putting shifts like that in, he'll start to prove the money's worth. Because even outside the goal, his feet was lovely. His footwork was great, and he was just at times he was causing some serious problems for the Fulham defence. This is kind of what you paid the money for. Obviously, he didn't win them the game in the end, but he did what he could. It weren't on him that Reed scored, so yeah. Definitely not a result I expected in the slightest. Like, not at all. Brentford absolutely pummeled Everton. Like, it's crazy. Like, they even had chances that they missed that they could have scored, and it's like, where's this come from? This is Brentford here. I know it's an away game, but away at Brentford shouldn't be that massive of a contest for Everton, Yeah, very, very weird. Very, very brilliant from Brentford though. Like, they pulled it out of the bag in that game. They did not pull any punches from Everton at all. That's slightly worrying for Moyes, because that's kind of come out of the blue. You kind of think, like, what's really gone wrong? It's a lot of counter attacks that they got them from. They were pretty lethal on the counter, and then obviously the set pieces, which Brentford are good at anyway. But yeah, that's maybe kind of exposed. Maybe they've got a bit slow in defence. I don't know. I don't really know how fast O'Brien is. But yeah, to go from playing really well against Forest to getting packed in by Brentford is quite surprising by Everton. Obviously, they're not in any danger or anything. But yeah, I didn't see it coming. This is a Brentford team that people can sit up and take notice of now. Like, they're starting to put in some performances. They're starting to get results now. And if they strengthen in January, they're going to be a very solid mid-table team. Back-to-back good performances from Vitaly Janelt. He seems to come in and actually made a big difference in that midfield. 2 assists in the game. 2 set pieces, I think they were. Well, one of them it definitely was. I think one of them was a through ball for Thiago. But yeah, it's a really good showing. A really good show from Janelt. He can strike a ball really well. That's why he's really good off them set pieces. So he offers a lot to that Brentford team. A bit of an older name from days gone by, I think, from Brentford. But yeah, even so, definitely showing he's still worthy of game time in that team. Nathan Collins with a massive goal as well. Yeah, again, it's these two scored points last week, but really good showing from the lad. Genuinely defensively decent. Everton didn't have a lot outside of their 2 goals, and everything they had came from one player. I'll speak about in a second, but yeah, he did his bit, and even then the goals they scored were inconsequential. So yeah, good performance and 2 points. And player of the week for game week 20 is Igor Thiago. What a showing, hat trick. Big man performance that was. He was clinical, he was dangerous, and it's everything you want from your striker. There's literally nothing more else to say about it. It was a fantastic showing, and he fully deserves 3 points and fully deserves player of the week in my opinion. Successfully recovered from his Christmas come down. Jack Grealish was just pulling the strings for Everton. In a poor performance overall from the team, he was really good. Like, he was pretty silky. He was causing issues when he could. Obviously, he didn't have much support for the rest of the team, who put in a pretty dire showing. But yeah, he did well. He did really well. He got 2 assists, 2 really nice crosses for the 2 strikers. Yeah, very good Grealish performance. City won, Chelsea won. Chelsea left it late, but they did, well, the changes that they made helped them to get that goal. McFarlane did a really good job, I think, in that game, especially to get a point off City. I mean, even if they didn't, they were playing well enough in that second half that, you would have thought they would get a goal eventually. I think I saw the stats compared to first half, second half was night and day. Wasn't afraid to make a big change, bring off Esteval. Palmer was poor in that game again. He just hasn't looked himself for this whole year, pretty much. But yeah, City should have seen the game out. I think Pep should have done better. I think he could have. I don't know if he. I don't know if he was a bit too confident going into the game. I don't know if he thought this was a team in turmoil and he could have just beat them and moved on. But yeah, I think not starting Doku was weird. Definitely should have started. None of the wingers really did a lot in the game. I thought like Shirky wasn't great, and Doku looked alright when he came on, but he should have started for me. Yeah, well, not the best day for City. Should have seen it out. Chelsea had nothing in the first half, but defensively were pretty solid. Second half, the game complete change. Moving Enzo forward helped a lot, and bringing actually Delap came on and looked alright. He came on and looked pretty good. So fair play to Guy, and yeah, very good work from McFarlane. Good work for Chelsea. This is a rare game where Haaland didn't score but played well. I think his involvement going forward was quite crucial. He had one or two chances that really could have gone in. The one from Jorgensen was a great save, and he hit the post with a really nice shot. But he was actually involved very much more so in the attack than he usually is. So he's got 1 point. And fun fact, he's the first player this season, this series, to hit 30 points. So he's not getting relegated. Rodri looked fairly back to his best when he came on. He was very good in that first half in that midfield where it was all City, and then the second half, even when it was all Chelsea, well, not all Chelsea, but even when it was more Chelsea, he still looked good. He's just that good of a player, and he's back. Kind of, I think if he can keep himself fit, then his last few seasons at City, he's still going to be just as good as he always has been. And I think it's 3-3 now for Reinders for City. But yeah, he's in really good form. Another good goal, and he's again, like I said last week, he's starting to put that form together. They spent a lot of money on him, and it looks justified in recent weeks. I had a little bit of a rut, obviously, after his great Week 1 performance. Week 1 Reinders won't be forgotten. But yeah, starting to come back into it. Another really nice goal. He's got a good strike on him on his weak foot as well. You can't fault him for that. So yeah, good goal, 3 points. I think Chalobah was actually quite good. Chelsea were defensively solid, but I think Chalobah was probably the best of that. A lot of defensive contributions in the game, and Chelsea needed to see City. They needed to prevent City from scoring a second goal, to give themselves the chance of staying in it. And I think that's largely down to Chalobah and the defence overall. So Chalobah gets 1 point as a representative of Chelsea defence company. Gusto on the right got the assist, the important assist in the end, and yeah, good performance on the right. I don't think James started. I don't remember James in that game. I don't think he played for long if he did. But Gusto did what he did his thing, getting down that right hand side, pushing up from the right back. He's really good at doing that. He's got the pace to do it, and he's got a decent ball on him, which we saw, which went through to Enzo in the end. And yeah, got himself 2 points in that game. And kind of the man of the moment, Enzo Fernandez. It was very weird how it happened. Donnarumma almost made a great save for his first effort on goal, but he was there. He did well enough to bundle it over the line, and his second half performance, generally speaking, was getting into the attacking spaces and making it all happen. And it was just a good performance from Enzo. It was a very good showing. Best player for Chelsea, I thought, in that game, and got 3 points. 2 set pieces completely undid Palace in that game. They didn't have a lot anyway, I thought. I didn't think it was a very good showing. Glasner's in some pretty poor form. I mean, Jan is open, the window's open. Now's the time to spend a bit of money. Now's the time to sort your problems out. If you're struggling from set pieces, maybe go out and get a big centre-back. Provide some competition for those three in defence who haven't been scoring any points of recent because they haven't been doing well in defence. Maybe you need to strengthen there a little bit. Newcastle, this was fine. They did what they needed to do. They put in the shift that they needed to. It wasn't actually that difficult of a game. Yeah, nothing that really could be said about it from a Newcastle perspective. It was a fairly simple victory. So fair play to them. Bruno G with a goal, a pretty important goal. It was that made it 1-0. He's just been their best player by a distance this season, and every week he just continues to put in the performances. He's been the big man in that midfield. He's been making it all happen. Where Joelinton's dropped off, he stepped up. Where Tonali hasn't been fantastic in recent weeks, he stepped up. So yeah, definitely deserving of the points there, Bruno. Wissa's overall play was really good. He was getting forward a lot and causing some serious issues for Palace. This the fact that they've got Wissa in and they can give Waltemada a bit of a rest is great because if they started Waltemada every game, I think he'd start to hit some bad form because you can't be relying on just Waltemada and then putting Gordon up front or Barnes up front. So the fact they've got Wissa back as an option is great, and he's showing himself to be a very he's not lost his step. He's been out for a while, but he hasn't lost it in the slightest. So he's still going, he's still motoring on, and there's a lot left in Wissa, and there's going to be a good player there. He's going to he might not be the man for years and years to come, but he's going to do a job, I think. And Malik Chow with another goal and another clean sheet, another 3 points. It's as simple as that. He's just good, defensively good. Nothing really Palace did, so he wasn't amazing. But he scored a goal. He was in the important position, and I think that's for me gets him 3 points. Again, Wharton was decent, but I think he wasn't fantastic. He was kind of one of the only Palace outfield player that can kind of hold his head up high and really say he was any good at all. It just wasn't a good showing from Palace. I don't really know what's happened to them in recent weeks, but they need something. They need a bit of energy injected into them in this transfer window. Wharton was fine in the midfield. It was just a good Wharton performance, but it wasn't fantastic, and the rest of the team wasn't good enough around him to make him look any better. Dean Hendo with 2 points, made some really important saves. If the defence was a bit more solid, if they were a bit better of clean sheet, if they got clean sheets off set pieces, then maybe it was more points in it for him. But he made the save off the shot that Chow scored from the rebound of. So he did really what he could. There's nothing else you could have said that Henderson should have done better. So, yeah, 2 points for lad. Finally, Spurs 1, Sunderland 1. Spurs looked all right and then didn't. They had a few chances to see the game off and they just couldn't do it. I don't know what happened to them, but yeah, I don't know. I just Frank is not the answer, I don't think. I'm starting to see the light. Spurs are saying they want Frank out. Spurs fans are saying they don't really like him, and can I blame them? Like, if you in the position you are, you're winning against Sunderland and you're playing well. Why are you shouldn't be throwing that away? That you should be winning that game. I know Sunderland are a good team, but you're at home and they're a newly promoted side and you've got the better squad. It's disappointing. Sunderland just keep picking up these points. They're really they're Villa coded in the sense that they'll fight back. It's honestly, when they go 1-0 down, it's almost to their positive because it fires them up. Like at 0-0, obviously they're playing well, but there's a fight that you get when you're losing that you don't necessarily have when you're drawing or winning. There's like a desire to turn it around that you get, which you don't have in any other time. So, yeah, good one for Sunderland. Again, at the start of the season, you pick up a point away at Spurs. Sunderland fans will be buzzing about that. And in this position that they're in, they're just keeping plugging away and they're keeping themselves in the race for European football. I thought Porro was all right on the right hand side. I don't think he's had a very good season for Spurs, but I thought he was pretty decent when he was playing on the right hand flank. He was causing some problems, putting some pretty dangerous balls in for Spurs. And yeah, I mean, there was no one. They lacked a striker presence in that game. No one was really in the end there in the box for them. But yeah, it's just not a great day for Spurs overall. In 2026, when I'm saying that Ben Davies was your best player for Spurs, like, come on. And it's a bad performance, but he did well. He did what he could. He scored the goal. Good finish. No, he could have done for the goal. It weren't on him. It was just a lovely Sunderland move. Yeah, it's just 2 points. I mean, if they didn't score that goal, there's no points in it for him, which is better than one is better than none, so fair play to Ben. Mukiele at right back was pretty great for Sunderland. He's just consistently just plugging away these really good performances. Since AFCON, he's really had to step up because there's been a lot of they're struggling a bit more in attack, so they and their defence is definitely weaker. So they need the names to step up. Jacques has done that, and Mukiele certainly has done that. Those performances have just been great, and he definitely deserved 1 point. At right back was really solid. Nothing down that left-hand side for Spurs. Bobby with a great goal. This is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see Bobby start, and the link-up play for the goal was fantastic, and he scored. This is exactly what I wanted to see. I used to sign him on FIFA quite a bit. Really good wonder kid back in the day. Back in my day. But yeah, good stuff, man. I do like Bobby. He's quite cool. 2 points. And Mr. Lefay is really performing. he's also stepped up in a huge way for Sunderland recently. Him and Xhaka and Mukiele have been week in, week out brilliant, and just the work, the layoff to Bobby was fantastic. The shot was great, and his overall play once again is just brilliant. He's so well rounded as a midfielder. I really like the guy, and definitely I think 3 points fairly earned. There we go. These are the point scorers for the week. As a reminder, just at the top here, and if I scroll all the way across, Haaland up to 30 points now. We've at the border of the spreadsheet, but it's fine. I can extend it out, and he's got 9 points to Semenyo, who's second on the list, and you can see like Rice is pushing himself into 20s, Grealish up to 19, Guimaraes is getting close, and then you list the players. One thing I also want to say is that there's a lot of people just sat on 2 points compared to everything else. It's like getting to nearly to the bottom now of that, and the player of the weeks are going to have to move across here soon. But yeah, in terms of the admin, that's enough done. Thank you very much for watching, boys, and have a good one.